We'll start in our Tadasana today, and you can start by just rocking a little forward backwards and coming from heels to toes and a little bit of side to side. Just finding the base of your feet and start to connect to your breath here. So we'll find our energetic breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Maybe just a little organic movement anywhere else in the body. You can take a big stretch if you'd like. And then we'll begin our wake up routine. So we'll start by tapping on the end of the kidney meridian in the hollows right beneath the collarbones. So you can find that little hollow and begin to tap or massage deeply here, grounding into your feet now and deepening the breath. And let yourself start to connect with the body, with the breath, and with your energy here. Finding a gentle rhythm. Maybe you close the eyes this morning. And if you notice any points that are tender as we move through our wake-up routine, give them a little extra love. Maybe adjust the tapping to meet the pressure that's needed today. And really breathe out fully through the mouth, releasing any stagnant energy. Move to the center of the sternum for the thymus thump and get our immunity working for us, either using one or both hands. Sometimes I even like to use the whole fist to give a nice thump here. Let yourself get soft enough to feel that vibration move through the entire body. And moving down to the side seam of the body, about in line with the bra strap in between the ribs. Again, either using fists or using your first 3 fingers as a point. The end of the spleen meridian and helping to digest and assimilate. You can tap around to the front of the ribs and then back out to the sides. Deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Shake off the hands and the arms. And we'll do one more lighter tap here underneath the eyes for the stomach points. Starting to feel connected into the base of the feet, into your soles and where you connect with the earth. Allowing this last tap to help ground you. And if you'd like, you could tap around the whole rim of the eyes, the eyebrows, inner eyes. And if you find any sore points, maybe give a little massage there. And shake off the arms and rest your hands on your thighs to continue to help with that grounding energy. So you're directing your fingers straight down towards your feet and just taking a moment to pause and check in. Connecting to the flow of breath, the prana or the chi, that life force that's carried along the wave of the breath. If the eyes are closed, you can open them. Deepen the breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and take a couple of breaths here, marching in place. Same hand to thigh. Pause, shake off the hands, and cross it over. Opposite hand to knee, deep breaths. And find a rhythm that feels good to you. So notice if you become rigid or stiff. And especially in this season of wood, we want to invite in some flexibility to not be that stick in the mud, but a living, breathing organism, right? Like a tree that has flexibility in its branches and the way it grows. One more deep breath here. Slow it down. Ground into your feet. Bring the hands in front of the pubic bone on the body or in your field. And we'll take a moment here to set an intention or to just allow a guiding word to bubble up for you today. Let yourself breathe and soften and allow this intention or word to come to you. As a suggestion today, I'll continue with this theme for spring of the wood element of flexibility. And what does that mean, not only in your body and your practice, but as you move off your mat today as well. All right, let's zip it up. Inhale, zip straight up towards the chin. Flip the palms, press up and out as you exhale. Deep breaths in through the nose, zipping up. And press it out around you. Exhale at the mouth. One more time, drawing that energy up. And press it out. Closing with that hook up, middle finger to the belly button and to the third eye. Press in, draw up. Big breath out the mouth. 2 more breaths on your own. When you complete your breath, come into Tadasana. Start to breathe in and out through the nose, finding your yogic breath. And we'll find our 5 element sounds here. So if you need to unstick your feet, feel free to do that. Remember, we have this theme of flexibility today. So I think that also flows over into freedom, to let yourself move and breathe as you need. And we're going to go through the 5 element sounds. So we'll start with who, W-H-O, for courage. Just take a couple breaths, blowing it out. And the next couple of breaths for the element of wood, SH sound on your exhale. For assertive action and helping to expel anger. Your next few breaths with a ha sound for the element of fire and helping soothe anxiety or panic to help tap into your joy and inspiration. Tune into the vibration of the sound. With your next few breaths, settling into Ujjayi breath, a little constriction at the back of the throat. For the element of earth and balancing compassion for yourself with compassion for others. Infusing your body and space with self-love. And for your next few breaths, exhale with an S sound for the element of metal, helping to let go. So this is a nice long exhale. Releasing from the lungs. One more time. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Celtic weave right down the center, strengthening that outer layer of your space or your aura. When the hands get to the hips, inhale, sweep the arms up and twist to the left. Celtic weave on this left side. Inhale through center and twist to the right, Celtic weave down the right side. Imagine your hands are threading together the space around you, strengthening that bubble. Inhale, come through center and take a big Celtic weave, crossing elbows, crossing hands, and come all the way into a forward fold. Bend your knees generously and let yourself hang for a moment. If you'd like, you could grab opposite elbows or just rest hands on the ground or on your yoga blocks. Make sure to let the head go here. You might shake it yes and no. This is a great practice for our wood element today. I know we do it a lot in yoga, but having the power, the freedom, and the courage to say yes and to say no. Need to be assertive in that action. Say yes and say no. Deepening your yogic breath here. Nice full breaths in and out through the nose. Let the torso hang. And invite space all through that back body, from your heels, up the legs, down the spine, the arms, and the head. Take one more breath. And then bend your knees. And you can just come all the way down to your seat for a moment. You can let your feet come in front of you. And we're going to massage the feet and the hands, or clearing the gates. So you can start with the feet here and wiggle your fingers in between the long bones of the toes, coming off the webbing in between each toe. Just noticing if you find any tender points to massage out that tenderness or that pain to help move stuck energy. And then you can grab onto each toe, and like you're squeezing a little tube of toothpaste, just squeeze all the way to the tip and pinch at the very tip of each toe. Might get a little pop in your toes. And we'll do the same thing with the hands here. So you can sit any way that's comfortable. If you want to come into Sukhasana, great. Stay in that cobbler's pose. So massaging in between the thumb and index finger, and in between the long bones of the hand, coming off the webbing in between each finger. And you can do this on both the outside and the palm side. So you could use like your thumb and index finger to reach both sides of the hand. And coming off each finger and pinching at the very tip. Find a little patience here. This is a really beautiful practice of self-care. And our hands, we put a lot of stress on our hands, especially if we're working at a computer, but most definitely we're all using our phones a lot. So really help clear that energy out. Switching sides whenever you're ready. If you're ever doing this on your own, this is a really great thing to do. I like to do this massage before bed. Bring in a little oil or lotion. Go off each finger, both hands, and then we'll shake off the hands here. You can draw your knees together and roll all the way down to your backside, hugging your knees in towards your chest. Let your spine be held here, right? So with that support of your mat, you're able to release and lengthen through the spine. And you can find a little rock side to side if that feels good. Pause the movement. Draw your forehead to your knees, breathing in. And exhale, release the head down. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, curl into a tight ball. And exhale, release down. 1 more time. Inhale, curl it together. And exhale, release down. Hold on to the back sides of the legs and lift your feet up towards the sky, massaging right behind the crease of the knees. Nice deep breaths. And then holding behind the thighs, you can rebend the knees and finding a rock and roll along the length of the spine, gaining a little momentum as you go. We're going to come up into Malasana. So whenever you feel you have enough momentum, you're going to space the feet as wide as the mat and see if you can rise straight up into that Malasana. We'll bring our hands to the center of the heart and help lengthen through the spine here, elbows pressing into knees. Breathe deeply into the belly and feel the spine lifting up and out of the hips. Now bring your right hand to the mat and inhale your left arm to a twist. Doesn't have to go to any certain extent, just finding how far you can go here. And you'll circle the wrist a few times in one direction and the other. Flick each finger off the thumb, and then flick all the fingers off the thumb. Celtic weave, like you're drawing figure eights all through this space. Really press out through the palm. Find that outer layer until the left hand comes back down to the mat, and then switch sides. Lifting up right arm to a twist. Circle your wrist around. Both directions. Flick each finger off the thumb and all the fingers off the thumb. Find that outer layer of your field and thread your hand through that space. Figure eights as you sweep that right hand all the way back down. And when both hands get to the mat, press into your palms, lift your hips, parallel the outside edges of your feet for a wider leg forward fold. Heel toe your feet together, coming into your traditional forward fold. Bend the knees and bring your thumbs to the corner of the eyes with the rest of the fingers draping towards the forehead. Use this grasp of the head, the thumbs pressing into the corners of the eyes, to lift up the head into a gentle chair pose. And then lift yourself all the way up. Press into the eyebrows and sweep the thumbs out towards the temples. Bring the rest of the fingers to the middle of the forehead. Press in and pull apart out towards your temples. And we'll continue with a crown pull here, so you can shake off your hands and then move the fingers back towards the hairline. Press in at the center of your scalp and draw the fingers apart an inch or so either way. And we'll keep moving down the center of the skull, pressing in the center line and drawing apart. Nice deep breaths here. Maybe taking a few breaths out through the mouth. You can shake off the hands at any point if you feel like you need to kind of shake off some excess energy there. And keep going down the center of the skull, noticing any tender points. You can give a little extra massage there if you find any. And we'll keep going until we get to the base of the neck, and we'll draw those fingers apart towards the earlobes. And keep going down the spine here, so down the sides of the neck, drawing the hands apart towards the throat. When your hands get to your shoulders, give a squeeze, breathe in. And exhale, bring the hands to the chest or the sternum. Finding the space in between each of the ribs, starting at the very top under the collarbones, and pressing in and pulling apart, like you're kind of raking the hands across or apart on the chest. Moving down. And when you get to where that xiphoid process is, right where the ribs meet here in the center, you'll reach around to your back, reaching up as high as you can, press in and pull apart. Moving down vertebra by vertebra. And inviting space through the spine, helping to move the fluids in the body and the brain. Notice if you find any tender points. Once you get to a certain point, it might be easier to use your thumbs. And when you get down to your hips, down to the base of the spine, we're just going to massage here into the center of the glutes. Reach up as high as you can and wash down the spine 3 times. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now tap here right on the center of the glutes and moving towards the outsides of the glutes, the hips. Tap down the outsides of the legs, letting your thighs jiggle. And when you get to the knees, open hand slap. Tap down the outsides of the calves with fists. Open palms as you come over the ankles and down the outsides of the feet. Make your way to the big toe and start to tap or slap up the inseam of the leg, up the calves. Open hand on the knees, tapping up the thighs. Getting to your lower belly, spend a little extra time here on the low belly. You might feel a little uncomfortable in some of these spaces, especially on the belly or when we move here up to the solar plexus. So I encourage you to breathe deep into the belly and just adjust your tapping to meet what you need. Start to tap a little higher right over the solar plexus. And imagine stimulating this fire in your belly, that transformational element. You can imagine a bright orange, yellow, reddish light here as you tap around the belly. And then we'll move up to the outsides of the chest on the upper lungs. Nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then tap right back down towards the solar plexus and the low belly. And shake off the arms. Space your feet a little bit wider. And begin to swing the arms around the body, tapping the outside of the arm and around the back. To start, let your gaze wander. So you might let it go out to the sides or back behind you. You don't need to have a fixed gaze here. Find a breath that feels good and tune into your intention. Let that intention flow through your body and gain some momentum in your energy. Remembering that theme of flexibility today. Now we will fix the gaze, so you'll keep this motion going, but gaze straight forward. Fix your gaze on a point in front of you. Unwavering. Steady yourself through your drishti. Start to slow it down, keeping that fixed gaze. Just listen to follow for a moment until the hands come back down to your sides. Hold your gaze point. Let the body come into stillness. A flexibility throughout the body, no rigidity. Now keep that fixed gaze for just a moment longer here. Listen to follow. Turn your toes out. Maybe widen your stance just a little bit, and then bring your hands down towards your thighs. Now you can let your gaze come down towards the mat. Fingers point towards the inner thighs, and we'll find a twist here, dipping the left shoulder to the center of your mat. Gaze over the right shoulder and take 3 audible breaths, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Come through center, inhale. Switch sides, right shoulder dips, look over your left shoulder, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Long spine as you press into the thighs. Come through center, finding a cat-cow-like shape. As you breathe in, arch your spine. As you breathe out, look forward, belly comes down, chest forward. Inhale, round the spine. Exhale, look forward, let the belly hammock. And inhale. Exhale. And on your next inhale, we'll roll it all the way up. So come through that cat shape, inhale, roll it all the way up. Walk your feet together, find your Tadasana. Hands come to the center of the chest, connecting heaven and earth. Breathe in at center. Exhale, squat. Inhale, left palm up, right palm down. Hold the breath in for just a moment. And exhale to come back through that center squat. Switch sides. Inhale with a little retention. Exhale, squat. Keep going and find your rhythm. Take a round looking up towards the top hand. Take a round or two looking down towards your bottom hand. Find that little breath retention. You're holding it in for just a moment at the top of the breath. Balance out both sides. And when you come to that last side, we're going to dive down the top hand and come into a forward fold, letting the head go. And moving into expelling the venom. So ripping up the weeds or junk off your garden on your yoga mat. You can let the head go here. If you remember, every exhale is with an SH sound for releasing that anger and moving into courageous action. So as you inhale, grab up all those weeds, reach your arms out and overhead, and then throw it down with your SH sound. Again, inhale, sweep the arms out and overhead, throw it down. Again, inhale. Do that one more time slowly. Inhale up. Press it all the way down. Let the head go at the bottom, forward fold. Step your left foot back and lower your knee, low lunge. Untuck the toe and anchor into the feet. You can wiggle your hips side to side or rock the hips side to side. Left hand stays on the mat. Inhale, right arm to a twist. Begin to circle the right hand back, down, forward, and overhead. Switch the direction of your circles. And then when the hand gets overhead, flick each finger off the thumb and then all the fingers a few times, weaving that right hand down to rest the elbow on the thigh. Tuck your back toe, lift the knee, pop that left heel down for extended side angle. So as you lift your left arm up, the tailbone starts to point down towards your back heel. Turn your palm up, so you're flexing your wrist, and imagine drawing like circles on the ceiling here, or like spinning a pizza platter. Switch directions, opening up that hand, let energy really stretch out through those fingers. And the next time that your fingers dip back, really lean into that. Let that left shoulder open all the way out through the pinky finger. Nice deep breath here, stabilize through the legs. Celtic weave, left hand comes all the way down to the mat. Reach that outer layer of your field. And then stepping back into a plank pose and lower the knees, tabletop. Inhale, belly hammocks, cow. Exhale, round the spine, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more time, move through your spine. And on this exhale, shift back to child's pose. Spread those knees a little wider and reach your hips towards your heels. Walk your fingertips forward, finding a full extension. Let your forehead rest on the mat. Breathe into the space between your hips and your fingertips. Moving with the breath, inhale to table. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, table. Exhale, child's pose, and invite in that flexibility as you move. Inhale, roll it forward. Exhale, roll it back. And the next time you come forward, hold it here. Find a modified plank pose, straight line from knees to shoulders. Get nice and strong, press into the hands. Relax the jaw if you find any pressure or tension coming into the face. And allow the warmth to start to build in the body here. Watch it as it starts to heat up. Now lower straight down to your mat and come into baby cobra. Elbows hug towards your ribs. Inhale, lift the head. Hold it here, anchoring into the tops of the legs and keeping the back of your neck nice and long. Open the chest. And then lower down to crocodile or triple warmer rock, where the hands are a little pillow for the forehead. And rock your hips side to side. Release here, letting go. And then let yourself settle into the mat. Let your heels splay out and the chest to get a little heavier. Just breathe into the belly for your next few breaths, connecting to the earth. Feel the space under the palms where you connect with that earth element, helping to release pain or suffering. You might think, where am I experiencing that? And can I really breathe out and trust that the earth can hold me here? It's like there's a reason we call it Mother Earth, right? Having that nurturing quality and that ability to soothe our pains. And bring your hands underneath your shoulders. We'll come up into cobra for one more breath. Find the position of the hands, hug your elbows in, root into your feet. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, lower the forehead. Press into the hands, coming through tabletop, and tuck your toes. We'll lift up into downward dog. Spread your hands wide, peel those hips up, and reach back through the thighs. You can pedal the feet, bend your left knee, reach through your right heel, and switch. And then just letting yourself move in any way that feels good, pedaling the feet a few more times, and maybe finding that assertive yes and that assertive no. Find the space in your body, lengthen your arms and torso to their highest point at the hips. Lengthen your legs from hips down to the lowest point of your heels. Then take a walk to the front of your mat and come into a forward fold. Let the head go. Start to tumble your hands towards yourself, or sort of like spinning the hands in towards yourself. Right? And keep spinning those hands so you're like feeding into your field as you roll the hands, roll the body all the way up. As you lift overhead, split the arms, heaven rushing in. And exhale, hands come to the center of the chest. Finding what's called Emi Mudra, or energy medicine yoga mudra. The thumb is going to plug into the heart, and the index fingers are going to roll to the base of the throat. And you can split the palms open here, so there's space in between the hands. We'll take a few breaths here, helping everything come together and find our calm. It's a beautiful mudra to connect this heart space with our ability to communicate calmly and from a place of love. You can feel more assertive in using our voice, using our words, when we know that it's coming from this place of love and our own truth. You can start to trust yourself here. You can start to trust the energy to guide you. Let the hands come down to your sides, Tadasana. We'll do our same lunge flow on the other side. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Celtic weave to bring yourself down to the mat, forward fold. Release the right foot back, knee lowers to the mat, low lunge. Anchor into the feet, and you can rock the hips gently side to side. Right hand anchors into the mat. Inhale, left arm to the sky. Begin to circle that left arm, back down, forward overhead. Connect your gaze to your hand, and then switch the direction of your circle. Notice where you might be stiff, and try to invite in a little more flexibility. When the hand gets overhead, flick each finger off the thumb and all the fingers up. Celtic weave, left hand comes down, or rather left forearm comes down to the left thigh. Tuck your back toe, extended side angle as you pop your back heel down. Right arm comes up. Steady yourself here. Draw your tailbone down so you don't have your backside jutting out here. Flip your palm up. Hold that pizza pan on your palm and start to draw circles on the ceiling. This would be really nice to do outside, so we're swirling up those clouds. Switch the direction of your circling. Nice, deep yogic breaths. Reach the right fingers all the way back as far as you can, opening that right chest and drawing energy out through the pinky finger. Breathe deeply. Stay sturdy in your legs without jutting out the backside. Celtic weave, bring that right hand all the way down and step back into plank pose, lowering the knees, tabletop. Inhale, cow, hammock the belly. Exhale, cat, and round it out. Inhale, exhale. One of the most important places it is to find that flexibility is through the spine. Letting those messages travel freely up and down the spine. Okay, pause the movement, come into tabletop, and we'll find a little C curve this time. So you can bump your hips to the right and gaze over to the right and take a couple breaths here. Switch sides, left hip pumps out, gaze to the left. Come through center and thread the needle. Let's start with the right hand coming up. Exhale, thread it underneath of your left arm and lower down onto your right ear and shoulder. You can keep your left hand right where it's at, or maybe extend it towards the top edge of your mat, or bind around the back. Bring your left hand back by the face. Stay in the pose for just a moment longer. Listen closely. See if you can switch your gaze. So gaze over to the right side. Take a couple more breaths here. Okay, bring the right ear back down to the mat. Press into your left hand to come through tabletop. Move with your breath. And we'll switch sides. Inhale, left arm sweeps up. Thread the needle. Lower down. And choose whether you want your hand to stay in the same position, stretch it out towards the front of your mat, or bind around the back. If it's not already, bring your right hand back towards the face and switch your gaze. Turn the right ear down, look to the left. Turn the left ear back down. Press into your hand to come back through tabletop. Shift back to child's pose. Reach your arms forward and release here for a moment. Shining breaths into the back body. Illuminate your spine, your ribs with your breath. Inhale to come forward to tabletop and tuck your toes. Exhale, peel up the hips, downward dog, reach through your heels. We're going to transition between those two poses. Inhale forward to tabletop. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward dog. One more time. Inhale, table. Downward dog. Continuing to move with the breath. Inhale to plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. The next time, hold it in your plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, lower to your belly, chaturanga. Option to lower the knees and move slowly. Really try to find a good form here. Build up that core strength. And then inhale to come into cobra. Triple warmer rock. Hands rest under the forehead. Lower the head. Let the heels splay out and rock your hips gently side to side. Releasing into the earth. Pause the movement whenever you feel ready and just allow yourself to rest here. Checking in, connecting to your intention. Ask yourself here, where am I stiff? Where am I rigid? Where am I stiff? Where am I rigid? At first, perhaps answering for this moment, and letting your mind expand, answering out into the rest of your energy field and into your life. Where am I rigid? Where am I stiff? Oftentimes, anger is a culprit here. We tense up, we get rigid, we clench our fists and our jaws. We always start with the practice of awareness, right? Just becoming aware of the habits. And then using this practice to help release. You don't always have to know exactly why. You just have to become aware and start to repattern. Become aware and release. Use that audible breath when you need it through your day. Use that SH sound to release. Okay, bring the hands under the shoulders. I'm going to come up into a baby cobra one more time. So hug your elbows in, ground into the pubic bone in the legs. Inhale. Exhale, lower the head, press into your hands, and find your way into downward dog. Take a few breaths here. Lower your knees to the mat and either cross your ankles, rolling over the shins, or swing your legs out to the side to come to your seat. Baddha Konasana, so bringing the soles of the feet together, knees apart. You can just flap your knees up and down like butterfly wings. Massage now the base of your foot in between the big toe mound and the second toe. So the start of the kidney meridian and where we're drawing energy up from the earth. Let's open up that point on the feet. And we'll trace up kidney meridian. So starting from that point right beneath the foot. And drawing the fingers back towards the ankle bone. Make a circle around the ankle bone. Draw that energy up the inseam of the legs, straight up the torso, right below the collarbones, and give a little buzz here, massage. Then reach your arms all the way up and flick your fingers out towards the sky. Bring your hands down to the knees and draw the legs together, rolling yourself down to the mat once again. Hands by your side for a bridge pose, heels close to your backside. We're just gonna hold, we'll do 2 bridges here. So you can lift your hips. We'll keep the arms down today. A lot of times we're flowing the arms, but we'll keep them steady today. And just take 3 breaths here in your bridge pose. Drawing your attention to your belly. Softening the glutes and anchoring into the earth through your feet. Release the hips down to the mat for constructive rest pose. Heel toe your feet to the outside edges of your mat, letting your knees knock together. Bring your hands to the low belly and the low right side of the belly, your right hip flexor. And then we'll just circle the hands around, coming to the right waist, circling up towards where the ribs meet, towards the left waist and the left hip, and massaging around. So you can use your fingers to massage into each of these 5 points. The right hip, the right waist, the center right below the ribs, the left waist, and the left hip. Massaging out any knots or tender areas here. And just shake off the hands, and you can let your hands rest by your side here, just in constructive. Actually, let's bring the hands over the lower ribs. We'll rest them here. We're going to find this really long breath that taps into all of those sounds of the 5 elements. So I'm going to do it first here, and then you can follow along for the next few breaths. So if you remember from earlier, the sounds are who, sh, ha, and s. We're going to skip the ujjayi breath. Hu, sh, ha, s. And we're going to bring that together in one long breath. You'll take a full inhale. Hu, sh, ha, s. Hu, sh, ha, s. One more time. Hu, sh, ha, s. Bring your feet back underneath of you for one more bridge pose, hands by your sides. When you feel anchored into the feet, lift your hips. Roll onto the outer edge of the shoulders. Option to interlace hands behind the back for 3 breaths. Sturdy and stable. Connected below the feet and into the head. Release the hands if they're interlaced. Lower the hips down for reclined cobbler's pose. Bring your feet together, knees apart. Bring the hands behind the head, interlacing the fingers to give yourself a little pillow for the head. Feel the spine elongated here, and you can rest your thumbs at the base of the skull and give a little massage there into those electric points on either side of the ropey tendon of the neck. So there's little hollows here right at the base of your skull. That's where you can massage in. And then just letting the thumbs rest on these 2 points, letting those elbows open and the upper back to open, letting the chest open, the hips open. And we'll use this posture today to really help us release what we don't need. Flowing breath in and out through the nose. Occasionally out through the mouth if you feel like you need to release any excess emotion on the breath. Eyes could be opened or closed, or maybe you spend a little time in both. Accepting this freshness of the breath into your energy field. Fresh breath in, and letting it all the way out, emptying the belly, finding that openness, that spaciousness in the body to receive a fresh breath of air. Begin to press into the thumbs right at the base of the skull again, massaging deeply before you release the hands. And then bring the hands down towards the thighs and draw the knees together. Let your arms come out into a T. Bump your left hip to the center of the mat. Draw your knees to the chest, rolling into your twist on the left side. The left hand can rest over the thigh to help hold you in position, and maybe take the gaze over the right arm. Connect to your breath. Nature has an incredible way of adapting. So while we've been focused on flexibility, and there's certainly an element of flexibility in this twist, I want you to consider how you can adapt. That things don't have to be perfect, things don't have to feel perfect for you to be able to adapt and continue to grow. And let that be your strength and flexibility to adapt. I'm reminded of this tree I saw walking Max the other day. It had a chain wrapped around it, like a chain link, right at its center. And what was so amazing to me is how it grew around that chain. It just adapted. It continued to grow, and it was cool because you could see how much bigger this tree had obviously gotten because it literally grew around the chain. I think eventually it will probably fully encompass that and just sort of integrate it into what it is. Maybe eventually it'll snap the chain and release it. I don't know, some analogies in there. All right, let's release from our twist slowly, slowly. Move with your breath and twist the other way, bumping the right hip to the center, drawing the knees in and rolling to the right. Hand over the thigh and gazing to the left. Release from your twist. You can extend your legs all the way down the mat into Shavasana. We're not going to be here for too long today, but just let the body rest here for a moment. We're going to do a hold for this element of wood that we've been working with today, the element of this season. So start by rubbing your hands together quickly and generating a little heat underneath the palms or between the palms. Take a breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Find that SH sound now. And bring your palms to rest over the forehead and the temples. Breathe out with an SH sound. One more time. And let your hands stay on these neurovascular points, helping to release the anger, to move into assertive action, to bring your courage into your day, and to tune into that inner wisdom that guides you, to strengthen the relationship with yourself, with your voice, with your actions, and trust what comes from that space. When something comes up, act on it. Of course, this is different than being reactive without consciousness, without awareness of what you're doing. But if you feel something bubble up, your intuition sparking, if you see an injustice and you know the right thing is to do something or say something, really draw upon this energy of assertive action, of wood, of strength and adaptability, of flexibility. Draw upon that energy to take the next right action. You can rub onto the forehead before you release here. You can rub all over the scalp and sort of like you're massaging the head, deepening your breath and maybe wiggling the toes and ankles as well. Take a full body stretch here. Reach through your toes, reach through your hands overhead, And then bend your knees and roll over to your side, pressing yourself up to come into a cross-legged seat. Let the hands rest on the knees for a moment and bring your attention to your spine. We're going to take 5 breaths here to close out our practice. I want you to really visualize drawing energy up from the base of your spine to the base of your head. Exhaling back down towards the base of your spine and illuminating the backside, illuminating your spine like the trunk of a tree, sending that courage, that assertiveness up and down. Let a little smile come onto the face. In Qigong, it's known as the inner smile. It's this bubbling up of the joy that resides within, curling the corners of the lips up. And let's seal in our practice together. Bring your palms together and let's rest the thumbs at the third eye. Let's tune into that intuition this morning and take your final breath here to seal it all in. Inhaling in humble gratitude as you bow forward to yourself, to one another, and to this practice. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me this morning and tending to your practice and to your own energy. I appreciate it so much and I extend that gratitude from the rest of the world. Thank you.